Hello, welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. I'm your host, Josh Chapman, and today we're still in lockdown down here. We're still rocking some Stage 4 lockdown. We got a little bit of extra just to throw a little bit in. I think last time I was on, I had Heath on, was saying, hey, maybe we'll get out. But no, they decided to chuck a few more weeks just on the end of it. So nothing better to beat those lockdown blues, but a little bit of sweet Star Wars news to gnaw on. And when we get big Star Wars things happening, we throw up the Kneen signal. We get on the roof and we switch the light on. And we call in our number one correspondent from that Geek pod, Catherine Kneen. How you going, Catherine?
What is the Kneen signal?
Well, it's like the bat signal.
What's the symbol am I seeing on the moon?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I didn't think that far ahead. Well, you could put that Geek pod logo on there, or... we put an Ewok on there. You're a big Ewok fan. We could put probably Cassian Andor on there.
Profile.
Yeah. If someone would see it, they go like, "Oh, it's the Cassian symbol." Like, no, that's the Kneen symbol there. It's just happens to have Cassian on it, which wouldn't at all be confusing. You get Diego Luna showing up at your front door, going, "Oh, I saw the signal. I'm here." Like, "Oh no, dude, that's not for you. That's the Kneen signal. It's just a coincidence."
Yes. Such a coincidence. Show up any day.
Like, excuse me, I'm going to go to Bunnings and buy a great big projector to stick on my roof now, because apparently all you need for Diego Luna to turn up is to shine a big light with his face on the front of it.
I'm sure Bunnings have that. I'm positive. Oh, yeah. They've got everything.
They've got everything at Bunnings. Not that I would know. Not that we can go to Bunnings. Yeah.
Not too long.
Not too long. We're hanging in here, but the proof is in the pudding. The numbers are way, way down, and we're going to get out of this thing. And then, well, the funny thing is, it's that we're in a little group chat that we have with a bunch of people that people would know from other Blue Bantha Milk people, and Matt Frost and Turbo and all our buddies and things. It was originally the Celebration crew of who was going to Celebration this year, and that didn't really happen, unfortunately. But we have been in discussions about, because when they dropped the 30th of October, Mandalorian Season 2 drops. So when Season 1 dropped, we had a little screening party. We did a live pod, and a great time was had by all. I think we were all doing the mental maths, weren't we, when we found out whether we could actually do a Season 2 party. Does it actually fall? Does it work? Can you remember?
I
think we have to be... outside. We can have 10 people outside or 20 people outside.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It depends a bit. I think September's fairly set. October might be a little more flexible, but we'd probably be outside, because there'd be a few households, because that's how things are going. So many people from so many households are allowed to meet inside. So I was talking, throwing a sheet over a washing line and a projector. Yeah,
projecting Mando Season 2 on the backyard. Yeah, I had a projector. I don't know where it is though. Where is it? Someone's got it. Actually, I think James, brother-in-law James, has been on the show a few times. He's got my projector, which I bought at a friend of mine who I used to live with in London. He used to work for the software company that did the software for Nokia phones. So they, of course, went out of business because Nokia went out of business. So they would do all the, they were all running great until the iPhone came along. And I think they shut the business down or downsized or whatever. And I remember him saying, "Oh, dude, they're auctioning off all their office equipment. And they've got some projectors. Would you be interested on a projector? How much do you want to spend?" And I said, "Oh, well, send me the specs." And this is, it'd be a while ago now. It's probably 2012 or something. And it was a pretty good projector. And he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's pretty good." And I said, "Oh, maybe like £150 or something. That sounds about reasonable. What I'd pay." And then I got a text message going, "Yeah, I got it for 40." They had 6 of them. And it was just like, they just had the
Chapman cheapies.
Classic Chapman cheapies, yeah. So I could probably find that. So we could bust the projector out, and we could do it. I mean, whatever it takes.
Slide night.
Yeah, a slide night. Like Catherine's trip to Morocco or something. And And here we are at the... we could just watch the Mando season 2, but just like screen captures, just like every... And this bit here is the bit where the Baby Yoda does something cute.
Oh,
now,
so cute.
So cute. Now, we should put up front that Geek Pod is in full effect, as they say, as Public Enemy would say, full effect. You're back in the game. You released a couple of stuff this morning. Now, I have to admit, I don't know about you, but I'm currently full-time looking after the kids while we're in lockdown here. So my podcast listening has gone down the tube. So I know you released a reaction this morning on the trailer. Do you want to give me the audio description or how initial thoughts based on someone who hasn't listened to the podcast yet?
Okay. Well, good news is it was about less than 5 minutes because I was also looking at the clock going, I've got a 9 o'clock class. So I watched it. There was a few squeals and oohs and ahs. It's such a visual show. It's a beautiful clip, and I was really struck again by Baby Yoda and all the references to the trilogy without being overt fan servicey. It's amazing. Like Mandalorian is all we want.
Because that's all we're going to get. So now the question is, I did hint on it before. We were supposed to be at Star Wars Celebration a couple of weeks ago. We'd be home. I was getting all those very depressing, like, reminder, you have a flight, and all those kind of really cruel things that your phone doesn't forget, and so on and so forth. Assuming, that we would have been in that panel, because why wouldn't we? Because we were the panel kings last time. Would that trailer have been panel worthy, like the hype train in the room worthy, do you think?
I think so. We may have even gotten more like we did in Chicago, how we got a whole
for the people
scene
in the room kind of thing, like, hey, we're going to show you this, you guys aren't going to hear this, see this.
Yeah, as well as that trailer, I think. So I think it still would have hit hard because we would have had obviously the hour or whatever leading up to it.
Yep. And
seeing it on that big screen with the energy and the pop when, like obviously we'll go into it, but when the swoop bikes come in, when we first see Baby Yoda, all of those things would have an enormous pop in the room.
There was no
there's some great movements.
We'll go through it, obviously, which was what we're here for. But there was no drop the mic moment. There was no Palpatine laugh moment or anything like that, was there? It wasn't. But it's not really. That's not really what it's about, is it? They're not really. It's not the same kind of. It's. But they didn't do that with the Mandalorian trailer, like you said in the room when we were there last time. Like, they didn't drop Baby Yoda at the end of. Imagine if being in that Mando panel last year, and then the last frame is just like Baby Yoda. People would have ripped the seats up and just gone absolutely insane.
Yeah, full on, just lose my mind, weeping mess you would have had to have carried out. No, it told us nothing. It told us nothing, and it was awesome, but it told us absolutely nothing.
Yeah, this is pretty similar as well, isn't it? Really. Now, you know what? Let's not muck around.
We can guess at some planets, but that's it.
It's true. Now I'm going to bring this up here. I don't think there's going to be any sound, so you're just going to have to imagine everybody else at home here. I'll have the sound down a little bit because I'll have to hear what's going on here. But I'm assuming you can't hear any audio on your side, Catherine, because we're not that advanced. But you've seen it, enough. So we're just going to start on the very first shot here. And we're basically looking at... It looks like Earth, doesn't it? Like the first thing you look at is...
It's a planet with clouds and an ocean.
Yeah.
So, a blue marble in the sky. Earthrise almost.
Yeah, so it's sort of coming up behind another planet, and then we get The old rickety, the Razor Crest looking very worse for wear. Sort of.
And what I didn't notice that first watch was, the back
the hatch is open.
open.
How is that? How is that actually like space worthy? Like, doesn't it all the suction and stuff go in there? Like, doesn't it have to be sealed to fly? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Do I know enough about? Do I know enough about space travel, Catherine? Is that what?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a vacuum in that part of the ship, so maybe Mando and Baby Yoda are safe in the bridge or in the cockpit.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think that's safe out of atmosphere. But let's not bring physics into Star Wars.
Yeah, that's right. I sound like one of those sort of, Let's not worry about that. Now, I'm assuming you can't hear anything, but we get the Lucasfilm logo and we get some more music, but it's a bit different. It's a little bit different. It's not the old Mando. It's very much like the music, in tune of the other stuff, but it is a different little tune.
Show me the one whose safety deemed such destruction.
And then we get a voiceover of the what's her name? The
Armourer.
The Armourer. She's talking about show me a sort of a clip from the last season of show me who warranted all the destruction, and we get a lovely shot here of Mando and Baby Yoda back in his little floaty pod.
In his little pram. It's so cute. It is so cute. So yeah, just hearts are fluttering at Baby Yoda in his little pod.
It's so funny that it still feels special to see him, even though we just got a whole season of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all the stuff leading up to last season, we knew nothing. There was no hint. Baby Yoda was not in anybody's wildest dreams thinking about it, and all the marketing and all the stuff, and there was nothing. And now he's just like there, just kind of starring, doing his thing.
Yeah. I still have no idea how they managed to keep Baby Yoda completely under wraps, because there was not a whisper.
And the crazy thing is, when you watch that making of, he's just sitting around the set. He's just there. It's not like he was like a green, like blob that they just replaced with CG and nobody knew what it was. It's just, that's the thing that blows my hair back. They're like, wow, that actually managed to, that nobody blabbed.
Yeah. And he interacted with so many actors and things. You think about those kids on the Bryce Howard Dallas, the fourth episode.
Yeah.
In the village, all those kids interacting with Baby Yoda, and
nobody
they
squealed.
Didn't say anything. I know.
Maybe Bryce Dallas Howard's, she just grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and she's just like, you guys
don't you know who I am?
Yeah, my dad. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my dad is? I've beaten dinosaurs. I can beat you. All right.
The Fonz is my uncle.
Yeah.
You must reunite it with its own kind.
We get the reverse shot here of Mando and Baby Yoda walking through some town. There's some graffiti all over the walls and things like that. I've never seen...
Yeah.
Have you ever seen live action graffiti in Star Wars? I mean, I know Rebels, Sabine was big on graffiti and stuff. Yeah. I can't think of any.
No. Even at Ring of Catherine, which, looked that sort of beat up place, I can't think they didn't have graffiti. No. So I can't think of anything.
A couple of firsts there for us.
Where?
And now the funny thing is here, I know you haven't got sound, Catherine, but the very first time I noticed this is that they have the voiceover of the Mando going, where? Because she's like, we got to take him back to his people. And the voiceover here where Mando says, where, is in exact sync with the bantha opening its mouth on this thing. So once you watch it, once you see it, I know you don't have sound here, Catherine, but once you see it, you cannot unsee it. For anybody watching at home, I'm going to do it again.
Where?
It literally goes where. So the lion is coming out of that bantha's mouth in perfect sync, like he is talking.
Awesome.
I thought
Thank
it was.
you, editors.
I thought it was a little joke or a troll or something. But we got a glorious shot of a Tusken Raider on a bantha there. I mean, I guess this means we're definitely back in Tatooine. Is there? Banthas show up anywhere else? I mean, I know we got those Jawas that sort of were off-world.
Yeah, but the Tusken Raiders or the native Tatooiners,
They're not going anywhere, are they? They're not going on holiday anywhere.
No, I mean, it's odd that Banthas are there on a desert planet, considering they're basically woolly mammoths. But that's Tatooine. That's Tatooine, and I don't hate the idea of going back to Tatooine. I always get a thrill. I mean, I know that episode where they go back to Tatooine in season 1 isn't everyone's favourite, but
I know someone's whose favourite it is.
Oh yeah.
Shout out. Look, if you're listening.
Toro Calican. Toro time.
Toro time, yeah. Look, I don't really have the problem with it that people do. I think it's part of the Star Wars DNA. Like, I feel like it's just like going to a Star Destroyer, or you know what I mean? Like, it's a place that is synonymous with the story. That regardless whether it's the arse end of the galaxy, it doesn't mean that it's not crucial to the story. You know what I mean? Like, you sort of, it's its place. I'm just trying to find another place that's sort of like it. But it's just, it's just woven into the fabric of Star Wars, whether you like it or not. I think we'll always be going to Tatooine. As long as Star Wars is around, we'll end up going back and forth there for one reason or another.
Yeah. I always, I get a kick out of it. And if you think on a logical level, you go, well, there's the Amy Sudeikis, I can't think of her name, the mechanic character, and that's almost like a safe harbour for him. If he went there, she'd take care of him and Baby Yoda.
I've just been watching I just finished, I binged the last few seasons of BoJack Horseman. I don't know if you've watched it or not, but Amy Sudeikis plays Princess Caroline, who's like the cat agent. So every time I hear her, like I hear her voice, I just get this weird crossover of Princess Caroline and the lady, in the spaceport, basically. So very nice shot of Bantha, and then the Razor Crest kind of zipping past, and then we're on
that's beautiful.
A big ice planet.
Yeah.
Now I've purposely not gone and watched a bunch of sort of breakdowns, like I know that, Alex and Molly, who were sort of the go-tos on the breakdowns because they're so knowledgeable. I thought, if I go there, then I'll know exactly what everything is. And it's, I knew that we were talking and we could do a bit more speculating and, coming up with some wacky ideas rather than knowing exactly what's going on. After you record this, I'll go back and I'll watch what they do and go like, oh yeah, I was way off and all this kind of stuff. But, desert planet, ice planet, pretty classic Star Wars.
Classic, one planet, one environment Star Wars. Obviously people are speculating this is a planet we've been to before, but I see no reason for that. But yeah, it looks cool, and it's an environment Mando's not been in before, so always good.
His winter woolies.
The songs of eons past.
Does he have thermals on under? Oh, so cute.
He's got his little, you remember at the end of the final episode of last season when he kind of has his helmet off, he did like a sort of little neck, it kind of went up around his neck quite high. Yeah. So I think it's like a little skivvy. And, like the Sharps say, skivvies are back. And there's a local reference. There's about six people who'll get that. And even Baby Yoda, as this shot here, we've got him sort of standing in the foreground of the shot. He's got his little skivvy going on as well. So
little in the snow. It is so cute.
He must have cold toes though, surely.
Tell of battles between Mandalorian.
And then we get Mando and Baby Yoda there, just kind of hanging out in front of something in the background. That doesn't look like the Razor Crest though, and it looks a bit more beaten up.
Yeah. So strange. Like the painting on it is, I think, a bit different. Who knows?
It's a bit older, isn't it? But they're on the trail of something.
The Great.
And now we're in looks like a dock or a market, and seeing a lot of, is it the Quarren? Is that what they're called? The Quarren, these dudes, the fish-faced dudes. And then I'm even seeing, that looks like a Moncal on the right there, but I could be wrong. So, I mean, Moncals and Quarren are like the people who hang out at Moncal. So, could be, or is that just racist to assume that, you know, you're on their planet just because there's a couple of fish people there?
Well, there's a number of them there. There are a lot of them there. But who knows? Who knows?
That's a good cover.
Could be.
An order of sorcerers called Jedi.
Yeah, but you're right. It looks like a doc or something.
Now we just have to notice the voiceover is still the armor, and she's talking about the you know, we think he belongs to the race of the wizards that we used to battle called the Jedi. So, you know, the speculation that we've sort of been talking about is, you know, is he going home to the planet of the Yodas, or is he going home to the Jedi? You know, who's he trying to find? And then we get this shot of... Oops. Oh, I can't quite... Hang on. I'm just going to skip back a little bit because I've managed to pause it right when we can't see her face. Of course.
Yeah.
There she is. So there's a young lady there dressed in black in a classic Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker ensemble almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Twitter has told me that this is the lady who's the wrestler.
Yep. Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks.
You expect me?
So we don't really know what her deal is. I know
No.
there was some talk early on that she might have been playing Sabine, but I don't think that's right, because I thought Sabine was either Asian or Indian background, and it's definitely not. She's definitely not those. So she's probably just a completely new character.
And you think Sabine, we'd see her. We always saw Sabine in her armor, and you can't think that would be any different now.
And I don't see any reason why she would feel like she needed to hide from a Mandalorian if she is a Mandalorian as well. You know what I mean? Like this, she looks like somebody who's tracking them, or, you know, out to get them. So whether she is, who knows? I mean, you kind of go, my first instinct is like, oh, is she working with Moff Gideon? Is she some sort of dark side user that they're, you know, just like, oh, we got to step up our game here. We need to get some force skills here to deal with this Baby Yoda thing, or is she working for Luke Skywalker? Is she on the good side of the Force? Or I mean, I just because they're talking about Jedis and obviously they show her, so I mean that's where that's where the connect comes for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean she does disappear pretty quickly, but you know, like Mando's been known to do that as well. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a bait and switch here, or just a tease, really.
Yeah. It's good, though, because it's like, that's enough to go, oh, that's interesting. Now I'll just have to wait and find out what it's going to be. I don't need to know anymore. But, yeah, she's looking pretty, you know, interested in what that Mando is up to and that Baby Yoda is up to. And then we just get a nice little shot there of Mando.
Expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature.
And then there's another shot of her again. Just
to a race of enemy sorcerers.
And then just doing a little Batman disappearing trick from the shot. And then we get a nice little shot there of Baby Yoda again. Just Baby Yodaing it up.
Okay, so all I want is to get my cat like a backpack, or a backpack for me that I can put my cat in, and just like put a decal on it saying "the child" on it, and that will be me with my baby.
Just wheeling him around on adventures.
Yep. I'm sure he'd
solving
love
mysteries. Yeah, because cats just love to be, you know, told to sit still in one place for a really long time when it's not on their it's not on their terms. You know, if it's on their terms, they'll sit there as long as they like.
This is the way.
I do like them sort of doing a little nod to each other, and just sort of, you know, they got a good sort of 1-2 going on, streaming this October. Yeah. And now we've got a little chug boat going on.
Okay, space boat. how good is Space Boat? Like, I didn't know I wanted it. I love it. Space Boat.
Yeah, they get a lot of Star Wars on the ocean. I mean, obviously, Rise of Skywalker, Rey had that little thing on the, occasionally you turn up in the, she was in that little skiff thing she was riding around, but this looks like it's more sort of, I get a kind of, I don't know, like Apocalypse Now, going up the river on the boat sort of thing. And
yeah.
But they look like they're, I don't know. It obviously looks like a working, like they look like they've just kind of hitched a ride, haven't they? Like it looks like these dudes are just sort of getting about their day working.
Like they're out fishing with Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, they're just looking
on the
for
Jenny.
shrimp. They're just looking for shrimp.
Yep.
Shrimp and potatoes, shrimp salad, shrimp soup. And then we get a nice little close up there of Baby Yoda again in his little pod. So I don't know. I can't remember what happened to the pod the last time. Did he kind of found it in the bin, didn't he, and got it back? Did that what happened?
I can't remember if he retrieved it. I don't think he did. It was in the...
or was it kind of just in the bin and he saw it and was like, uh-oh, kind of...
Yeah. Yeah. And he escaped with Baby Yoda basically under his arm. So, he might have gotten another one from
like Facebook
somewhere.
Marketplace or something, or...
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where a lot of baby stuff ends up, Catherine. Is like in our case, when kids outgrow stuff, it's like, well, if none of your friends want it, then you just chuck it up on Facebook Marketplace and see if somebody will buy it.
Yeah. Gumtree.
And there's X-Wings. So that's your classic X-Wings.
Beautiful.
So they look like they're just kind of escorting, aren't they? They don't look like they're engaging.
At this point, they look like they're escorting. I have to say, when I was watching this first time, X-Wings, I was like, oh my God. That would have gotten a huge pop in the room.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I don't know, and then they're just looking at the coin. So they are about to open their S foils though, which does usually mean they're going to get ready to shoot something. Could that be R2 there? In that little, could that be R2? I mean, they all have R2 units. That's a long shot.
Yeah.
Or is that Luke? It could be Luke Skywalker in that X-Wing.
I don't think Luke's on escort duty. He's a general, isn't he?
I don't know what Luke was doing after Return of the Jedi. I mean, in the books and stuff, he's obviously just doing Jedi stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We could get some sort of creepy de-aged Mark Hamill in there, or
his voice.
Although now in this shot, through the clouds, he does look like
definitely engaged.
They're chasing him, and they've got the S-Files out, so they want to. So I mean, potentially this shot could be right one after the other, or this could be earlier in the episode where everything's cool, and then they're like, we're gonna get you down one way or the other.
Who knows? Who knows? And that's what I love. Don't know.
Oh, and now it looks like we're back on Tatooine here. We're back on the speeder bike or the sweep bike.
Yeah, that is looking very Tatooine with those particular cliffs and things.
All right. So we've got Grief Karga and Cara Dune still there.
Yep.
She's had a rough week. Completely self-inflicted. Yep. So, we'll see how that plays out. But did he have a grey beard in the last season? Did he have I feel like he's just forgotten to put the Just for Men in the beard. Like he's just kind of like, you know what? Because I think Carl Weathers must be in his mid to late 60s, if not older. Hang on a second. I'm just going to Google Carl Weathers Mandalorian here and find out whether...
So they at least go back to Navarro where these two are.
Yeah, so Carl Weathers, sorry to interrupt, I've just Googled him. He had just the mo, no goatee, but it was dark. It was dark. So I don't know how much time has passed. I sort of was under the impression it sort of picked up where we left off, but could be wrong. This could be towards the end of the series, but who knows?
Yep. his hair could grow quickly. Barbers are closed. Who knows?
Well, that's very true, actually. Yeah, it doesn't take that long for the grey to grow back in. Speaking from experience, he's got some nice sort of shiny duds going on here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the mayor of the town now. You know what I mean? Like the Empire's moved out and he's just kind of gone, all right, I'm going to be running things here. Like, I'm going to become the mayor of Bounty Hunter Town.
Yeah.
Cara Dune looks like she's kind of just wearing the same stuff, really. But and I think Carl Weathers is directing an episode too, so.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just gone, hey, if I'm going to direct, I'm going to give myself a nice fancy new costume.
Fair enough.
And now we've got a couple of those TIE fighters doing the foldy wing thing that Moff Gideon's one did.
So cool.
Is this just to assume that all this is just what TIE fighters have always done and we've just never seen it? Or is it just, these are just special ones?
Well, the ones we saw in like Force Awakens and Last Jedi, they were like docked in the ship. Their wings weren't folded. I'm trying to think.
They're always kind of like up against the wall, kind of stacked, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
I mean, admittedly,
looks
these
cool.
are the first ones we've seen land on the ground. Although, wait, didn't
Ben
like
Solo, he parks his on the
ground, and did the wings fold? Although his was a
An
special
old
one,
one.
wasn't it?
I don't. Yeah, like one with had hyperdrive anyway, so he could actually get off that planet. I don't know. Put that one in the plot holes, thing. So, and then we've got some stormtroopers looking very clean. So not the kind of rundown, dirty old stormtroopers we've been seeing in Mando. Although I think Moff Gideon's stormtroopers were pretty clean. Like he kind of had.
Moff Gideon's were up to scratch.
He runs a bit of a tight
Imperial standards.
He's been running a tighter ship, hasn't he? Really.
Yeah.
Now this looks very much like a Imperial hallway base, Star Destroyer or something. In the Entertainment Weekly article, what's his first name? Carlo Esposito?
Carlos.
Yeah. He was saying that Moff Gideon had a new, bigger toy, so maybe he does have a Star Destroyer at his disposal.
Well, he's a Moff.
Yeah, that's pretty high up the chain.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think you can control areas for space without a few Star Destroyers.
No. And if there's anything,
maybe even a Super Star Destroyer.
Ooh. Anyway, if there's any decent gear lying around, you feel like he's going to be, going dibs, saying he wants it. So very cool, seeing some shiny stormtroopers. And then we get this shot of a speeder bike kind of flying off the edge of a balcony, running down a mountain, and then doing a sweet little turn. I managed to freeze out quite a good spot, actually. It looks pretty cool. So I wonder if this is our friends, the Baby Yoda punchers. Jason Sudeikis, who actually liked one of my tweets the other day. I had just tweeted something about Ted Lasso, which is a show that he's starring on Apple Plus, whatever it's called, Apple TV, which is really good if you get a chance to watch it. And I think I was just saying that I was watching it and I liked it and he liked it. So I was like, there you go. Jason Sudeikis, married to Olivia Wilde, who's going to be directing Spider-Woman. If you haven't seen Booksmart that she directed, probably my favourite movie of all last year, even more than some Star Wars movies. Have you seen that? Booksmart? Do yourself a favour, Catherine, as Molly would say.
Got it queued up. Yeah.
Queued up. Great movie.
Were the Adam Pally and Jason Sudeikis scout troopers, were they with Moff Gideon or were they Werner Herzog?
Well, they were kind of like talking about how Moff Gideon they thought was a bit of a nut bar, remember? Because they're just like, oh, this guy, he killed this dude for doing this and da-da-da. So maybe they were just local guys. But did they? What happened to them? Did they get shot at the end? Didn't IG-11 shoot them at the end when he turned up?
Yeah, IG-11 sorted them out.
Yeah, right. So it's unlikely that it's them. I do like the idea that it could just be them and they just keep turning up. Oh, those guys look. This speeder bike guy looks pretty competent. Those guys seem like they were,
No place for a child.
Oh, And then there's a very, very quick shot, which I've just missed there, of, can I go, oh, damn it.
The water, great.
You know, this is no place.
So you've got, looks like Mando stuck in some sort of filling up kind of, I don't know, water death trap or something, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the pit that Han Solo fell into, when he met Chewie in Solo, except it's full of water.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a survivor challenge where they have like a cage over the water and you've got to lie in there with your face underneath and then the tide slowly rises.
Oh, God.
And it's just who can hang in there the longest. Basically, yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm missing survivor.
What's the like, are we talking an hour, 2 hours? Like, how long do people do there?
A long, long time. It just depends how far before high tide they start the challenge. But yeah, like hours, and it gets down to people almost making snorkels out of their hands and water over their face. So yeah, it's a real test of who can hang in there. Yeah, it's a rough watch.
I would not last 5 seconds on Survivor. All right.
Place for a child.
Oh, and then we see Mando jumping off a cliff with the old backpack, doing a bit of a zoom across the thing, and then we're back in the graffiti town. It's quite a good shot of graffiti here. And he's got some dude hanging up by the legs in front of him. He sort of shot the light out. I'm just looking over at the graffiti, trying to see if there's any kind of. No, it just looks like your standard graffiti. Really. Oh, that looks like a little C-3PO there. Look at that. Can you see where my mouse is?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and looking over like a stormtrooper.
Ah, maybe C-3PO is just like out there doing some tagging and stuff.
And above that, there's a blue figure. Is that like almost a Watto or a?
Looks a bit like a grimace.
Something?
Looks like something. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Mm.
I'm sure that there'll be like a behind the making of Mandalorian season 2 where they'll have the graffiti person come in and talk about the graffiti.
See, that's the thing with Disney's Gallery : The Mandalorian. I'm sure there's more colons in there. I could have gone for so many more episodes of that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just whatever. Just have one about like the catering. What kind of food did they have on set? What was Carl Weathers having for lunch that day? Like anything. Like just keep it going. And now look, we're back on the ice planet here. We got a nice little shot of Mando kind of walking into a cave. Is Baby Yoda there? He might be holding him.
Wherever I go, he goes.
I think there's some shots of he's holding him. Some shots he's in like a little bag, a little satchel.
Yeah, he's just saying wherever I go, he goes. So that's very nice. Looking out for
me and my cat.
Looking out for his little buddy, like you and your cat.
Yep.
And then we've got a shot. It looks like the Razor Crest coming into the atmosphere, burning up on atmosphere. So it looks like the Razor Crest is going to take a bit of a beating in this.
It took a beating first season. It was ripped apart by Jawas, put together again, but it got shot at a few times.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough piece of tech, really, isn't it? It's held up pretty well. And then it sort of set falling again. And now we get a shot here of Mando walking into some sort of underground boxing match going on. And we'll probably get a little bit of a closer look here, but it does look. This is very Star Warsy. This almost is a bit of a Solo vibe, isn't it? Like I get a bit of, like this is almost like where the sabak table kind of vibe. Like the lighting's quite similar, just the sort of the general vibe.
You're right. That does look like when Solo's walking into one of those clubs where Lando is playing sabak.
No, I just keep looking at all of this, just like like after we watched the like the making of it, you mentioned like the volume of how they shoot it. Kind of going, is this just like Mando here, and all of this is just a fake thing, or is this real? And what's like? I keep looking, going like, how much of this is real, or is the ring bit real, and then the background's fake, and then it's just.
it's amazing. It's just amazing the way they can film it now. And it's got to be a quick way to film, relatively.
Oh, totally. All right, let's just... All right, now we get two Gamorrean guards, or Gamorrean guards, however you want to pronounce it, fighting in the ring here. Now, the first thing that occurred to me is that how buff these guys are. Like, I always just think of Return of the Jedi guys, and they've just got, like, the huge guts and stuff. Does it mean Jabba is just, like, hiring the worst security, like the big, fat, useless, like, guys who've aged out of fighting, who've just kind of put the pounds on? This is what how they're supposed to look. They're always supposed to sort of trim and, look like they've always got, like, a six-pack going on.
Yeah, well, obviously, the Jabba guards are out of training.
We saw what happened to that one who fell down the pit.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, maybe these ones are just like the top fighters, and the other ones are more your dad bods type of thing. I don't know.
They're just so lean. Like, I just never really occurred to me that they would be like. I just assumed that was like the shape of all of them. Not that I gave it a lot of thought, but it was just sort of. Just because when I saw this the first time, I was just kind of, what are those? Like, what are those creatures? And I went, they're Gamorrean guards or Gamorreans, but they're just, unless like these things were like that's a girdle around their waist, they've just kind of got this like thing that's like sucking their gut in. Then they get out the back and they get out the back and they loosen it and the whole like the tummy just falls out. And they're like, thank goodness I don't have to sit through that anymore. But very cool that he's just like some sort of underground boxing fight. And now we get a classic Star Wars creature. No idea what it's called. Alex and Molly would be all over it straight away. But I remember seeing one of those in like the cantina and stuff like that. So
yeah.
This is sort of alludes to what you're saying before, like just lots of classic nods without being like, it's just an old school creature. It's just good to see him.
Yeah, and it's a deep cut reference. So, obviously new viewers, might not know it's a deep cut reference. For those of us who go, recognise that alien. Mm-hmm. It's cool to interact, but it's not this. I love Rogue One, but seeing what's his name, Dr. Evazan,
Ponda Baba,
and Ponda Baba, it was just too much.
Like, hey, remember that movie?
Too much.
Yeah.
Like that was the one sort of reference in there that was too much. But this has sort of got the balance right.
Yeah. So he's talking to his mate there, and then he's been double crossed. He's got three dudes have all come up and pulled their blasters on him.
I like those odds.
And then we get a great shot of Baby Yoda just looking, going, I can see what's going on here. So it's funny that he just takes Baby Yoda with him everywhere. Everybody just kind of, I don't know, everybody seems to have a reaction to him just like we do, really.
He's the cutest. But yeah, this is like the shot of the whole trailer.
So Mando gets his little gauntlet with the. Do you remember what that was called? There was like a name for that weapon, like the hummingbird or something. They were like, you've got the. I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, but anyway, Baby Yoda.
Hummingbird sounds familiar.
Baby Yoda sees what's going on, and he's getting out of there.
He's like, nope,
not today. And he closes his little doodah and hops in. So that's a very. I mean, that would have played huge in the room, obviously.
Yeah, and this next bit, how it's just black, so it's Baby Yoda's perspective of what's going on, the sound of some fighting.
And then he cuts back and he's kind of cleaned up the room by the looks of things.
Of course he has.
Some dude gets a knife or something to the chest.
Yep.
And down he goes. This is the way. And you get the old catchphrase, "This is the way," which I know he's just using for everything, isn't it? Like anytime he wants to do anything, he's just dropping a bit of "This is the way." And then go. We got the card. Now, there's sort of Molly from Star Wars Explained actually dropped this tweet, which I didn't notice when I watched it. But there's sort of smoke coming off the logo when you pause it. You might not be able to see it.
Yeah.
Let me just go back a few seckies here. You can sort of see it.
Yeah.
So whether that's just to look cool or not too sure.
Don't care.
Looks cool.
It's awesome. Yeah.
One way or the other. Now I'm just going to bring me back there. We're doing screen sharing while we do this, which I think is the first time I've ever done this on this podcast, like 100 and whatever episodes in, and it's still like, oh yeah, I should really get around to that. But yeah, look, good trailer, worth the wait. It's just kind of funny, you know, like everyone has been obsessed with this trailer for ages now. It feels like it's just like, when are we getting it? When do we get it? And then you just get it. You're like, oh, great. Well, I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah. I was, in bed far too late last night, like midnight. There was a tweet saying, here's the trailer. I'm like, yay. I'm not watching this on my phone. So then it's, okay, do not disturb, put it down.
Oh, so you saw that and then just went to bed and you're like, I'll deal with this in the morning.
Yep.
Oh wow. So I was already asleep. I had logged off by then. So I got up this morning and I think one of the Facebook groups had like a link saying that it was up. And yeah, so I got the iPad out and watched it on the iPad. I thought, well, like I said, I wouldn't do it on the phone. I was tempted to get up and bust out the 75-inch TV and hook it up and do everything. But it's I was like, I'll just pop it on the iPad, and I can put the iPad close to my face anyway, so that's pretty good.
No, I think I could go to sleep knowing, okay, it's there. I'll get up in the morning, make sure I've got time to watch it on my TV, like I AirPlayed it from my iPad up there. All good. I even had time to, hook up some microphones to the mix deck and remember how to use the mix deck. And
just the podcaster in you, record. Just straight away, you're just like hashtag content, like it's boom. Let's do this thing. Yeah, like I said, I was supposed to be recording with our mutual friend Dale, good buddy from It's True. And it was funny because we were supposed to record last night and then it got delayed. He couldn't do it last night. And I said, and I kind of jokingly just said, oh, well, we might get a Mando trailer if we do it tomorrow night. And then I knew that I wanted to get you on because we'd already spoken before about it, to throw the Kneen signal up. And then unfortunately Dale couldn't make it. But luckily you were still around and it just worked well because otherwise I would have had that absolute thing where it would recorded, gone in the can, saved it, got to bed, and then gotten up in the morning and gone like, oh my God. Like, to be honest, I probably would have canned it and then, got you back the next night and done the trailer and then put the episode out next week. Although then you get a whole episode a week after talking about like, wonder when this Mandalorian trailer's coming out. What are we going to see? Do you think it'll happen? Like it'll age so badly. But no, we've done well. Like excitement levels are high. Was there anything in there that you kind of wished you'd seen? Like, would you have wanted to see confirmation of rumor stuff, or are you like, that's enough? I've seen enough.
I've seen enough. I don't want confirmation of rumors. I'm in some ways a bit annoyed at all the stuff that has been out there. Even that EW article that talked about the rumors. Yep. Because it does lend a credence to it when EW prints it.
Yep.
I mean, it's not written by Lucasfilm. It's not, but you think there's some sense of approval by Lucasfilm.
So they would be like, hey, don't even mention it, please, if you want this exclusive. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, we'll see. Like, was there just one trailer for Mandalorian last time? Would they do two? Did they do another one closer to? I'm just trying to remember. I'd have to Google it and have a look. But like, obviously, there was the one that we got in the room.
That wasn't released then, was it? It wasn't released then.
I don't.
It was released later, like an actual,
Did we get a
like
trailer?
it wasn't officially released.
Oh, now I have to go back and look. Like, obviously, I know that the footage that we saw was never released, except in the show. But even then, it was slightly different.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and have a look and do some research, because I'm just not, like, obviously, like movie trailers, you get like the early one, then you get the other one just closer to. I'm just trying to remember. I think they should just be like, that's it. That's all you need to see. Mandalorian's back.
And
Baby Yoda's back. That's all you need to know. We don't need to show you anything else. Like, I don't think they gain anything. They're not getting a single extra viewer from showing more stuff closer to. I don't think.
no, because that's enough. We see Mando, we see Razorcrest, we see Baby Yoda, and we honestly don't need to see anything else. I mean, I don't know. I think they've got a lot of Disney Plus subscribers, so they just need the date so that new viewers know when to come on.
Yep.
And they need us out there pumping them up. And
which we've just spent nearly 50 minutes doing, so thank you. Let's have our press screeners now, early access. Now the other question is, like, the other little thing will be, Disney Plus has been very good to Australia, apart from like how it dropped a week after everybody, like America, with Mandalorian season 1, which is annoying. But obviously we get the perfect drop time where we get at 7 p.m. Friday night, perfect television watching time. We're not getting up at 3 a.m. like King Tom, having to watch it bleary eyed because they don't want to be spoiled on anything. Hopefully that continues. Now, it certainly was the case for the other sort of exclusive Disney Plus stuff that's dropped. So like Clone Wars was the same. We got those times got dropped then. I think the Mandalorian gallery stuff was the same. So it doesn't seem to be any reason why not.
I wouldn't think so, because I think they just have a time that they upload the file, and that's just a worldwide thing. I mean, the only reason we got it a week later was that the service wasn't with us until a week later, which was kind of weird in a way. Like, I'm not saying America should be held off for us. Yes, they should be. But but it was kind of weird that 1 week. I know there's probably some licensing deals.
I think it was more of a licensing thing, yeah. It was weird. Like, at least, like the UK only got it in March or whatever, so we didn't,
Yeah.
But I mean, that was the thing. Like, we obviously were just around about the start before we clock off here. Is we're just talking before, like, hey, if we can do a screening party, whether it's with 20 people or 10 people or 5 people or however it'll be if we can do 20, it gets bigger. If it turns out to be 5, it'll probably just be sort of the people we see the most. But they're going, oh, it's going to be out this date. We don't know exactly what time. So you organise this whole thing going, all right, we can have 20 people. Like last time, we're like, hey, we can get this venue. We can sit down. We can do this. We can do it. And then we're sitting there at 7 o'clock going, all right, just keep hitting refresh, I guess. And hopefully this episode is going to turn up.
Well, it depends. So also, daylight savings time's going to start soonish, the next few weeks, because that first lot of Mandalorian episodes, I think, dropped at like 5 o'clock our time.
Oh, that's true.
And then once we clocked over to not daylight savings time was when things dropped at 7.
Yep.
So,
well, that will be good, because at least we've got a bit of a heads up. You know what I mean? Like, if it drops at 5, you go, hey, look, at least we know it's there. Now we can have our little thing, rather than, like I said, all sitting there at 7 going, well, hopefully not sitting here till 11 o'clock at night waiting for this thing to drop. Still exciting stuff. Well, gosh, we just clocked our time just talking Baby Yoda. It feels good to talk about some stuff that we've seen and not just speculation and guesswork, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's still some speculating in there, but to just get that little bit more and to know it's coming, to know it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year of a lot of stuff that hasn't come.
Yep.
Some of it Star Wars related, a lot of it just other stuff, whether it's movies or TV or just life stuff in general. So it's nice to have it's here. It's definitely coming, guys. Something to look forward to. We've got a couple more weeks here before we get out of hard lockdown, and then we'll ease our way out, and then we get this little baby Yoda wrapped present at the end for our for our patience, really. I mean, I guess that only relates to us directly. Everybody else gets it regardless about how good you've been or not, but it'll be good for us. Now, Catherine, we did mention that there's a few new tasty bits of Geek Pod on the podcatchers people can get.
Yep. So after a very long hiatus, I dropped a very quick reaction this morning. And I'll probably record something solo in the next few days because I need to talk. Because when, I'm talking to like students and we're meant to be talking about our subject and I just all of a sudden start talking about how good Cobra Kai is, I think it's time for me to start talking on that Geek Pod again.
Excellent. Sounds good. Well,
yeah.
I'm always happy to come on and talk about stuff. I haven't watched Cobra Kai yet. We've got plenty of friends out there. And hey, if you're a listener, you want to talk some Cobra Kai with Catherine, drop her a line. If you're in a friendly time zone, are you not a weirdo? I'm just soliciting guests to your show. Catherine will vet as needed.
Good. All good. I'll send you out there.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, everybody, thanks for sticking with us. I know the show's been up and down and on and off. We're just getting through this lockdown thing. It's been a bit tricky to find time to do stuff. And then sometimes when you've got days and days of looking after small children, it's just a bit hard to put your feet up and podcast for a bit. But for Mando trailer, we had to make it happen. So thanks, everybody. We'll try and get more regular soon. But thank you, Catherine, as always, for answering the signal.
Thank you, Josh, for putting up the signal. I'm more than happy to respond. I've been this fight since I was 6 years old.
There you go. On brand. Perfect. That's the way to send us off. Great. All right. Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye.